It's Thursday, the 2nd February, and this is From the South. More than 10,000 Argentinian teachers marched in the streets of Buenos Aires to protest President Mauricio Macri's government's plans to determine a ceiling on teachers' wages. Representatives from the Union of Argentina Teachers, UDA, and the Argentinian Union of Private Teachers were present. Argentina has witnessed waves of protests on the streets of the capital since Macri's government issued a series of cuts to public funds. The peace process between the Colombian government and the country's second largest rebel army, the ELN, has received a major boost. The rebels handed over former member of Congress Odin Sanchez to a humanitarian commission of the Red Cross earlier today. The release fulfilled the government's central precondition for advancing peace talks that have been stalled for months. Marisa Leticia Rocco, wife of the former Brazilian President Lula da Silva, died on Thursday due to an aneurysm, according to the Workers' Party lawmaker Benedita da Silva. Rocco was taken to the hospital on January 24th due to a stroke, but her health quickly deteriorated. According to her doctors, Rocco's organs would be prepared for donation. Intense rainfall hit northern and central Peru on Wednesday, flooding city streets and destroying parts of a cemetery. In the northeast of Lima, a public school and its car park flooded and over 3,000 residents were affected. More rains have been forecast by Peru's weather agency. The forest fires continue in central and southern Chile. International teams have joined firefighters who have been battling with the wildfires for 2 weeks. The largest forest fires ever seen in Chile have claimed 11 lives, among them firefighters and police officers. Over 3,800 square kilometers of land have been devastated. American Airlines opened its first ticket office in Havana on Wednesday due to the growing tourist numbers to Cuba. The increase follows former U.S. President Barack Obama's detente with the island. American Airlines currently offers 13 round trips to Cuba daily, connecting Miami to 5 Cuban cities.
For us, this is really truly a very special moment. It means a lot to us that we are opening an office of American Airlines with American Airlines employees in Cuba for the first time.
Controversial far-right figure and editor Mario Yiannopoulos was run off of the University of California at Berkeley Wednesday by protesters. This led to campus police placing the university on lockdown. In response, U.S. President Donald Trump threatened to cut off federal funding for the institution. A funeral ceremony was held in Montreal in honor of 3 of the victims that were killed in the deadly attack in a mosque in Quebec City. 6 persons were killed in total and several others were injured on Sunday night. Several thousand attended the funeral. Political leaders and representatives from the Muslim community spoke of the importance of coming together during the service. Over 4,000 people gathered in Bucharest to demand changes to Romania's current criminal legislation. Early in the day, some 150,000 people marched in the Romanian capital against the cabinet led by the Prime Minister, who approved the criminal law changes after the introduction of an emergency ordinance. More than 2 million Kenyans are at risk of starvation due to a prolonged period of drought, which destructed forage of animals and made local population dependent on handouts to survive. People in more than half of Kenya's 42 counties face starvation due to the cycle of famine-related deaths brought about by ongoing drought.
On Wednesday, the Ministry of Agriculture in Gaza held a contract signing ceremony for beneficiaries of the Kuwaiti grant for the rehabilitation of the destroyed agriculture sector in war-torn Gaza. About 750 farmers will benefit from the fund totaling $4.9 million to repair their destroyed agriculture and animal farms.
This grant is a part of the government's efforts to further rehabilitation of the destroyed agriculture sector in the Gaza Strip by Kuwaiti funding. Kuwait has pledged a total of $4.9 million for the rehabilitation of the agricultural sector in Gaza, 5,000 of which are allocated for the rehabilitation of greenhouses. About 750 Palestinian farmers in Gaza will benefit from the funds to repair their agriculture and animal farms.
Kuwait has always been a steadfast supporter of the Palestinian people and the forefront of humanitarian efforts. At Cairo Donors Conference in October 2014, the Gulf country pledged about $200 million to support economic, agriculture, and reconstruction projects in the coastal territory. Gaza's agriculture sector sustained over $500 million in damage during the last period of Israeli aggression on Gaza in 2014. Moreover, the entire agriculture value chain was affected. According to the Ministry of Agriculture, a sizable proportion of Gaza's agriculture animals were killed, including 40% of poultry and 40% of productive livestock. Noor Harazin, teleSUR TV, Gaza.
Argentina prepared to defend their Davis Cup title against Italy, but without two of their top players. Argentine stars Juan Martin del Potro and Federico Del Boni will sit out the tournament due to physical issues. Having won their first ever Davis Cup title in November against Croatia, Argentina have a weakened team going into the tie against contenders Italy. More on these and other stories on our website telesurtv.net/English.